The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and they get.
He missed the complete. He's crazy
stuff. Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield before. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
Here we are in Henrico County, looking down at the D-shaped oval that is Richmond Raceway, which today plays host to round 28 of the Premier Racing League Patriot Fire Cup Series in all 200 laps. Will be carried live as it happens here on the Global SimRacing channel. In just under a quarter hour, the flagman will wave the green, releasing the rolling herd of Gen 6 stock cars, roaring towards the 14-degree bank turn 1 for the first lap around 28 for the Virginia 200. Back in Old Dominion, I'm Sean Ambrose, and alongside me in the booth tonight is Justin Prince. Behind the scenes, we have our director Amjad Yaman, twisting and tweaking the dials. And our camera sets, as always, are provided by the great Dougie Beard. Welcome to another GSRC broadcast. Kick back and rest easy because tonight we're in for a wild one from Richmond International Raceway, folks. This classic, historic venue has got a lot in store this evening. Let's talk to Justin and see what he has to say about the track, because this track can really test a driver's resolve and frustrate the very best of them. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this D-shaped oval?
Thank you very much, Sean. As you mentioned, it does have a lot of challenges, with this 3/4 mile D-shaped oval being known as America's premier short track. This track originally opened in 1946 and has hosted NASCAR since 1953, and at one point was a half-mile circuit before becoming what we see it as today in 1988. With the challenges we'll see today, we'll see drivers try and battle all the different layers around the track with a 14-degree banking, and try and control the track as well with the 82 degrees in track temperature and 93% humidity on top of that as well. And with that, let's head into your GSRC lap guide to explain what to expect for today.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Global Sim Racing channel. I'm Brian Yazik and welcome to Richmond International Raceway. Fun little 3/4 mile short track in Richmond, Virginia. Without further ado, here's how we're going to get around this little joint. Richmond is tricky in the Cup car because the Cup car has a lot of high-end torque, so you're going to have to watch that wheel spin. For your hot lap, find this yellow line. This is going to be your best friend. Back into the gas, about 3/4, back onto the throttle. If you get onto it a little too early, you'll spin off the corner or get a little bit loose like I did right there. Back into 3 and 4, find the yellow line again. Roll it, back into the gas, heavy now. And there's your hot lap. Now, with Richmond, with the way that the tires burn off and the way that drivers just have totally different styles, you're going to see a whole lot of different things throughout the event. So, really going into turn 3, the bottom is pretty much the way. You want to brake right before that safer barrier. You can kind of roll up here a little bit and kind of diamond it, but either way, coming off the corner, wheel spin is going to be your biggest enemy throughout the event. Back down into 1 again. Turn 1 doesn't really have a great braking point to follow. There's no light there, there's no safer barrier start, so you really have to go by feel. I personally use the sound of the engine. When it gets to that certain sound, you know to roll out of it and get into the brakes. So, what you also might see is guys start to run that second groove as the tires and fuel start to burn off. So you'll see them enter really wide, going in here into 1, floating through the middle, straddling that seam right there, then cutting down to the bottom. Once again, watching that wheel spin off the corner. Back down into turn 3, braking at the safer barrier, floating it through the middle here, letting it ride that seam, back into the gas about three quarters, back into full throttle now, finally. And then that will complete your lap around here. So Richmond gives these drivers a lot of avenues to play in, and it's sure to be a good race, especially in the hot and slick sun. The nighttime event here tends to be a little bit more stable, but with the way that these drivers go, it's sure to put on a great show for us here today on GSRC. I'm Brian Yazek. Enjoy the show.
And that was a fast run around Richmond in the GSRC Monster Energy Cup Chevrolet. Brian Yazek behind the wheel talking you around. Tell you what, Justin, we've got quite a points battle going on right now. We're just getting into the fall segment, the final segment in this season championship. Why don't you talk to us a little bit about the standings, sir?
Yes, we do have multiple different points battles. So let's start off with your full season standings, as Brian Yazek holds just a 24-point lead over Nick Cohan after Darlington last couple weeks ago. Tommy Ryan's 96 points back, meanwhile, slowly chipping away at that lead, while Thomas George and James Grahula round out the top 5. They're separated themselves by just 4 points. Ricky Harden and Tyler Dalton, always attached to the hip, are 152 and 153 points back, while Tim Johnston is 206 back, followed by Drew Carroll and Red Hot Star Jeff Ward. Speaking of the Red Hot Star, he's currently leading your fall standings with 99 points at the moment, currently leading those over Drew Carroll by 10 points. James Grahula currently sits in 3rd, followed by a tie for 4th with Thomas George and Tommy Ryan. Brian Yazek rounds out just outside that top 5, as he is 20 points back of Ward so far in the fall, followed by Nick Cohan, Tyler Dalton, the up-and-coming red-hot driver in Brody Hayes, and Tim Johnston, once again tied with Brody Hayes in the number 54 car at the bottom of the graphic. So a lot of different points battles coming into Richmond today, and it is going to be a long one, 200 lap, Sean. A lot of things can happen today. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, and 200 laps around a really, really tricky track. I think one of the more interesting things about Richmond is really finding the grip coming out of turn 4. There's always a race off of turn 4. Why? Because the start-finish line basically is right at the exit of turn 4. You get right off the, you get out of that apex and on the exit, and it's right there. It's a mad dash, only just maybe about 150, 200 yards ahead. You will see them scramble 4, 5 wide coming off of turn 4 this evening. It will be a sight to see. There's plenty of track space to do it there. The yellow line here is not off limits. You can use as much of that track as you need. Now, with that comes a bit of a sacrifice, okay? You can run down there on the bottom, but boy, transitioning back up onto this track is going to be really tough. We do have the 82 degrees on track this evening. Will that make a big difference on the tires? Well, you know what? Listen, you're constantly grinding tires here, trying to find grip at Richmond. High speed, long sweeping turns, and yes, the tires will be a big factor. I know you can go a long way on fuel. I think just over 100 laps on a full tank of fuel. I don't think you're going to have the tires to do that here. I know we've talked about it before at other tracks where, well, maybe you'll take that chance and run out the tires on the fuel run. I just don't know if you'll be able to recover from that tonight at a 3/4 mile track. I think you'll lose serious positions if you try to stay out. Now, happy hour is getting to wrap up, and we're getting ready to go to qualifying. Justin, one thing I can assure you of is that the virtual ambulance this evening is parked and will not be anywhere near the track or the pit area.
Yeah, that is definitely a very important to have, especially after what happened in real life last week. So that's definitely something drivers are going to be happy about, I guess. But you did mention with the tire wear on that, Ricky Harden actually tested this out in this practice session before we went live to air. He lasted 105 laps. You mentioned that it's not the smart strategy. You know why, really? It's a 2-second difference in fall-off by the time you reach that 100-lap mark. You fall to about the 21-second mark by the time you're 30 laps in. to the 22s by the time you're 60 laps in. Even if you stayed out and with the pit advantage, or somehow managed to keep people a lap down, by the time you have to come in, it would not work out. So you are right on that strategy. It's the question of when will we see people short pit? 33 laps at a time, 50 laps at a time. We're going to see some different strategies with that.
Yeah, and 200 laps, again, that officially qualifies this one as a long one tonight. I think pit stops, the pit lane will be very busy when we have caution flags this evening. And, when we talk about that, you have to talk about being precise with getting in and out of the box. Let's talk a little bit about, as we get ready to go to qualifying here, let's talk a little bit about the entry to pit lane when we're talking under green. As you see, James Krahula just drove by it there on screen. It comes up very quick. You're carrying a lot of speed through there. You're going to have a lot of cars around you. You've got to pull off safely. You don't want to wreck everybody behind you, and you don't want to wreck your own car getting in. You're going to be really wise to probably drop it in somewhere, maybe turn 3, down to that apron, get that car slowed down, and then get into that pit lane, because it's really in the middle of turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, it is really, because I think that is the best strategy. You see, if you go down the backstretch going into 3, you'll see a few different arrows for pit entry during, I believe, caution flags mainly here at Richmond. Some people might end up using that tonight to enter the pits, and others, you're going to be trying to make sure you don't speed as well as trying not to wreck, because you do not want to get a speeding penalty here at this kind of track. If you stay a lap down here, just like a track like Bristol and Martinsville, you're going to be in for a bad time. You do not want to mess that pit entry up. You do not want to mess your pit strategy up by going 2, 3, 4 miles per hour faster or sliding through that pit entry for an unsafe entrance. So as long as you don't do what Tyler Dalton just did as well, you should be okay.
Okay, so we talked about the tires and what that'll do for times. Now, I certainly think 2-tire stop strategy might work in the short run. I don't know if it'll work in the long run. We may see some teams experiment with that this evening. Qualifying is underway. It's a lone qualifying session here. Ricky Harden on screen. Some guys have already got both of their laps in. 2 laps lone qualifying. Harden coming around for his second, I think, right now. Let's see where he goes here on the board. Yeah, it didn't count. Looks like he might have clipped the wall coming out of turn 4. I think that's going to be it for Ricky. Trying to find some cars on track now. Harden's still out there. And I think he's pretty much given up on that lap now.
Yeah, I think that's...
Paul Pepper's out. Now, Paul Pepper really fast in practice. Let's see what he's got for the field. This is a fresh one for him. It's out lap now.
His fast
wound up.
Getting wound up and trying to get a good lap in, because his fastest time would put him on that front row right this second. If he can repeat what he did in practice right this second, he'll be in great starting position, especially at this kind of track. Possibly even on the pole. As take a look at this exit. Smoothly, just barely grazing it, and just went too fast and too tight on the exit. Man.
He planted it. Not good there. Paul gonna get a chance to start over again here. He didn't actually register a lap, so I think this out lap will count as 1, which means he's going to get 1 flying lap to go at it. Yeah, that's exactly right. So here he goes. Let's see what Paul can throw down here. He's got 1 chance.
Yep, he's got a little bit of a faster time compared to the first time around on the entry to 3. And
oh, that puts him on the pole. Look at that. Wow. Jonathan Lawrence on track right now. Now, Lawrence actually just got a good lap in to establish himself in the top 15. That's one lap down. He's coming around now to complete that second lap out of turn 4. What's he got? He got to roll it all the way up to the wall, across the line. And Lawrence will stay there in 15th. Okay, well, we still got some drivers kind of waiting on this here. Although, we'll give it just another minute or so here as they'll start the drivers' meeting. And we saw some pretty good laps there. Tommy Ryan, provisional second place right now in that front row with a 20.376. Looks like it's going to be just a couple of tenths of a second that's going to separate these drivers tonight here for the front row. And there goes Brian Yazik and talking in race control to the group. Why don't we go ahead and congratulate Paul Pepper with the NP3 Designs Pole Award tonight. Paul Pepper, the Canadian, throwing down a bad fast lap at 20.365. We'll catch him here. Coming out of 4, and he's going to set up for this first lap around. Down this back straightaway. Gets a big run here into the turn. Got it planted down there on the yellow line. Exactly where you want to be. Let it roll out. Cross the line, and there you go. That's a pole lap there for Paul Pepper. NP3 Designs bringing it your way. As you can see, it doesn't take very long to get around here, race fans. Just over 20 seconds. So, we have 200 laps, but it's not going to give you a lot of time to rest. We're going to be leaning left and driving hard and fast here. And this race, quite frankly, could be over in a jiffy. If we find ourselves in a green flag condition, we've got 26 cars ready to go this evening. That being said, let's drop down trackside for the presentation of this nation's colors and the national anthem. Back, ready to go here for the Virginia 200. Final thoughts here, Justin. Who do you like tonight?
Well, one thing, usually the favorite is Jeff Ward. Jeff Ward has not entered the session with just about a minute 30 to go to qualifying, meaning we might see a new winner tonight. Personally, I wouldn't be surprised to see a guy like Tim Johnston be able to have a good run and get his first victory in a while. Or possibly see someone like a James Grahul or Brian Yazik move their way up to the front quickly and battle with Paul Pepper and Tommy Ryan immediately out of the gate. Who are your woodshed picks, though, Sean?
Well, we did get into the woodshed today, and by the way, discovered a new feature in the woodshed. So we got to work with it a little bit because apparently my connection wasn't great. So we'll see. But we can actually do interviews in the woodshed now. Amazing thing. Got to talk to Ricky Harden and to Billy Tungate, who joined us today. And next week, I think we're going to get a chance to tour American Pool Supply. So that'll be a lot of fun. But as far as the woodshed pick goes, you know, I really think this is Tyler Dalton's night. He's going to probably not like me a whole lot for picking him. A lot of these guys don't like it when I pick him, except for Jeff Ward. He just flat doesn't care. But I just think Ty is due, man. I think the Carolina driver is due for a win this evening, and you know, I have a feeling. Some nights you have that feeling, and tonight is it. Dalton sits right now back in 8th, just 36 points out in the fall standings. Boy, what a boost. What a shot in the arm he could get tonight here with a big win. Let's go to the grid. I think it's time we get up going on that now here. And boy, our starting grid this evening, row 1, Paul Pepper, Tommy Ryan. What a front row.
Yeah, definitely impressive front row. Tim Johnston follows them in row 2, along with Jonathan Goodell.
Row 3 going to be Ty Dalton and Brian. Put it out, Yazik.
James Grahula starts off on the inside to row 4 as Devin Serra will start just on his outside, 2/10 slower than the pole.
Row 5, hashtag Adam Blattel and Rick Thompson.
Randy Yoakum will start off in row 6, along with Derek Paulson.
Okay, then we're going to row 7. It's going to be Devin Cannon, the Indiana driver, will line up next to Chris Scala.
Mr. WWE car himself, Jonathan Lawrence, starts off 15th tonight, alongside the number 7 of Michael Krobach.
And in row, I'm sorry, in 17th, we've got Justin Rodden, and sitting right next to him in 18th, going to be Snoop Doggy Don Ruckle and the I'm a Pickle Rick machine this evening.
Yeah, those were the last 2 record times in qualifying. Adam Jersky will start 19th in row 10, along with Ricky Harden, to round off that top 20.
And hitting blackjack this evening is going to be Brody Hayes. Sitting with him is going to be Matt Murphy, starting 22nd tonight.
And Woody Mahan will start off 23rd with Nicholas Caldwell. Mahan deciding to bring out a different paint scheme, it seems, tonight, with a teal setup tonight.
It's got the Jewel. They call that the Jewel. That's the Loud Pedal Motorsports Jewel. I'm looking forward to seeing that one this evening. Stephen Herring going to start back there in 25th. But I'll tell you what, we got a great race on tap for you here, folks. The cars have shown up on track. Everybody ready to go. We're just waiting for the pace car to pull off in 3, 2, 1, engage. And we are away, or almost away. I know some of the guys right now are talking about the hurricanes. Before we get started, we certainly want to send all of our positive thoughts out to everybody dealing with hurricane disaster and cleanup right now down in Florida, in the Caribbean islands, out there in Texas. Our thoughts are with you, and boy, we know you have a lot of work to do, but if you're taking a break and you're watching with us, hey, listen, know that we're thinking about you. So here we go. Everybody getting off the line now, going to get in position here to start this race. 3/4 of a mile. I think the lights are off, but I think we'll get 2 pace laps here to get started. I can never remember with Richmond if we get 1 or 2. So we'll be ready here as Paul Pepper leads him down the backstretch behind the pace car. Tommy Ryan sitting right there. I'll tell you what, this is a great front row to get this race started this evening. These two have been competing alongside each other for quite some time. About as serious as they get. It should be a great start. Tim Johnston, Jonathan Goodell sitting right behind them.
Yeah, Tommy Ryan still looking for his first win. Wouldn't this be a good time to try and get that said win with the outside pole here? And Paul Pepper with this amazing qualifying time, if he can keep it up, he might be able to stay in front of these guys. But it's 200 laps. A lot of strategy can come into play. We're going to have to see what everything comes together, Sean. Get ready to buckle up and get ready, because this is going to be wild.
We do have 1 penalty being served tonight. Thomas George is not here, serving a 1-race probation. 1-race suspension. He'll have 4 races of probation. But Thomas not here tonight. Pace car has rolled off. The Virginia 200 about to get underway. Paul Pepper going to get him started slowly, but there he goes. He's on the pedal. Down across that start-finish line, Paul Pepper jumps out to a nice lead all by himself. Here comes Tim Johnston. Tommy Ryan falling asleep just a bit on it, under attack there from Jonathan Goodell. Tyler Dalton down on the inside. Brian Yazik trying to get her wound up top. There comes James Karula. Up front, they've gone line astern. Paul Pepper with a great start will lead the first lap of the Virginia 200, followed by Tim Johnston. And there's Yazik and Dalton back there, side by side already almost. Oh, Dalton starts to slip on the bottom, is able to reel it in. More cars slipping.
Oh, and that's Jonathan Lawrence spinning down the backstretch. I think he saved it.
No caution. Look at the replay here real quick. Here it is on the replay. There he is, Cadell down on the bottom. I'm sorry, Jonathan Lawrence on the bottom. Boy, what a great save by him. He's able to get on the brakes, stay out of the racing line. Everybody gets by clean. Back to the front, it's Paul Pepper still with about 0.3 of a second advantage here on Tim Johnston, heading down to that 19-degree bank turn. Rolling it out up to the wall. Paul Pepper off to a great start here in that Outliers Chevrolet.
Yeah, everyone immediately went to try and get to a single file, because if you get bumped to the high side here, it's not just a matter of losing one spot. You might lose 2, 3, 4, 5 spots if you can't work your way back down. That's why Tim Johnston had his good start as he has, and Tommy Ryan had slipped back to third. You do not want to leave that bottom open and leave an opportunity and the door wide open as Brian Yazek trying to claw his way to fourth.
Great run here up front. Pepper still in control, on board with Yazek, though, following right now. Yazek off to a good start here. Just got to keep the car clean here early in this race. Lap 7, that's where we're at. We're working on it now. Yazek looking there at the back of Jonathan Cadell. James Garula following, not too far behind. Most of the field going line of stern now, all the way around this track. Looks like right now the number 62, that's who's at the very back. That would be John Wilco.
Yeah, Wilco started from the pits and came out. He's now 3 laps down, as you're seeing here, to Jonathan Lawrence. So he'll have his work cut out for him for where he's at, as Tyler Dalton, from his early slide early on at the start of the race, he's now worked his way back to 8th. Yeah, everyone's just deciding to take this thing patiently. There's still a long ways to go. You do not want to force it 6 wide or 5 wide like it's the last lap of the race on lap 9. You do not want to be the reason for the first caution psychologically here.
Hey, man, I'm not even going to begin to try and jinx anything. I love the way this race has started. Back here, Brody Hayes trying to make a move position. He's looking to maybe make an attack here. Devin Cannon gets below him. And in fact, that is a battle for position. That's going to be Brody Hayes taking that 13th spot. Nice move by Hayes. I'm sorry, that's Hayes up to 14 from Cannon. Hayes already picking up 7 spots. We've seen Brody be really fast here. He hasn't caught any luck yet. Ooh, could this be a first-time winner in the making this season? Battle up front. Tim Johnston getting by Paul Pepper here. Oh, they're side by side coming across the line. Give it to Johnston that time. And this brings Tommy Ryan to the picture. Ryan getting a run on Paul Pepper. Pepper. We're going to take the replay of the pass since we weren't right on it here. You see Pepper there up front. We come to it.
Now let's take a look at this replay. You can see Tim Johnston had a great exit out of 2. Was able to get to the bottom and just got right under Pepper for the pass. Pepper lets him right on by, as it's too early to try and block a move like that. And Johnston now is slowly trying to pull away. Ryan, though, is biting on Pepper's hind legs right now, as it's currently very close in that top 5. All of them working off each other.
Well, Pepper led some very, very important laps there to start the race. Now, though, it's Tim Johnston having quite the run up here. He seems like he's found the line here early. Running well with it, still turning some very fast laps. But already, we've seen about a 3/4 of a second fall off from these drivers' best laps of the race here just now. 15 laps in. So degradation already a factor. Only 15 laps into this race. That is how hard this track is on these tires.
Yeah, they wear off quickly. It is a short track, of course, and it is a track where you're going very fast. And
Yazek with a big move. Yazek, I'm sorry there. Yazek with a move on the inside of Cadell. He's trying to complete the pass. They go down the back stretch, side by side. Cadell trying to win it, but he's not going to do it. Yazek going to send it in, roll it in deep. Cadell making that move back up on him, just up in front. Battle for second. Ryan looking to the inside of Paul Pepper, and he's going to take it. Pepper going to let him have it, not fight him too hard. Thought maybe he might try to cross him over. Not going to do it. Tommy Ryan up to second.
Yeah, looks like Pepper's tires are wearing off a tiny bit more than he'd like to have, as you're seeing with those lap times right now. You can see he's about 3/10 slower than Tommy Ryan's the last time. So Pepper, with his pole position, is starting to slowly work his way back because, as we said, those tires, if you wear those out too fast or too early, it's going to hurt you in the long run if we stay green. Or the longer we stay green, I mean, because the longer we stay green, the more these tires are going to wear down, and the more these tires wear down, the slower the car's going to go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And now we're starting to see with some drivers as much as a second fall off here. The top five, though, really have kind of broken away from the pack. James Grahula leading that second pack right now. Devin Serra behind him. Ty Dalton in that mix. Rick Thompson, Randy Yoakum. But again, the top five kind of breaking away from everybody.
And Michael Krobach's going to bring out the caution, meanwhile, right on the front stretch as you're discussing that.
Yeah, Krobach going to go for a slide. Unfortunately, nobody with him there. Happens, does it all by himself. Doesn't collect any cars. He just got loose coming off of 4 and was never really able to gather it up. You're going to see him slide across the start-finish line, go for a wild ride down in the grass. Luckily, he avoids going all the way down to that retaining wall. Does not wreck the car. The car does cross back up over that yellow line, though, and that's what threw the caution flag. So, a much-needed caution flag here for the field. 20 laps in, and I would expect everybody here. That we may see a couple of outliers, maybe take a chance at it, but right now I'm seeing everybody file in. Pit road is going to be a busy one. Here we go. Tim Johnston leading him down.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see people doing 2 tires at this point. It's too early. Yeah, I think to try and do that kind of strategy as everyone starts pulling in. We're going to see if anyone can capitalize on their pit times. And it looks like Brody Hayes may be focusing on getting left side tires. A couple drivers, in fact, might be just trying to do just that.
I think Tommy Ryan wins the race off the pit road. Boy, that was a good move by Tommy. Tommy just a little bit quicker there in the pit lane. Gets out ahead of Tim Johnston. Wow, what a race off the pit lane that was. Well, now Tim Johnston goes back up. By timing and scoring said Tommy Ryan had it, but maybe not. Maybe they're telling Tim to go to the front.
Yeah, and I mentioned as well, you don't want to get a speeding penalty to mess up your strategy. 2 drivers now having to drop to the back. It looks like Ricky Harden and Derek Paulson, who had decent times coming out of the pits. Both of them are going on as, take a look at this, we have a lucky dog.
We do, and that's going to be John Wilco, the Coastal Safety Auditor's lucky dog. Our boy Brutus back in action tonight. Good dog, Brutus. Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire, life, and safety equipment. So, 20 laps into this race, we get our first caution. I gotta say, now that there's no chance of any real jinx, that's a much better start than I anticipated. That was a nice run. If we keep running like that all night, we're going to see a great race here at the end. Everybody elects to come in for a pit stop, though, so no strategy here at play by anybody. The field is even. Once again, we get to restart this race with Tim Johnston, Tommy Ryan on the front there, Paul Pepper, Brian Yazik will be your second row, Jonathan Cadell, James Grahula on row 3, Devin Serra, and Ty Dalton on row 4. So, the light's still on the pace car. They're going to come around one more time. What did you think there about the start of the race, Justin?
I think it was a very clean start and a good race start, actually, because sometimes you see those kind of runs where it goes 20, 30, 40 laps to start off a race, maybe even the whole way. This time around, it was that kind of start. This is the kind of start, if you are a fan of racing in general, you want to see on this track. And this is the kind of spot where you say, okay, now we have the fresh tires. We gotta now focus on doing this again. And now that we've seen how the tire fall off was the first time around, let's see if I can try and cut down on that tire wear. So, yeah, I'm happy with the racing, and I think everyone's happy with how the racing's going too, and going to be using a lot of strategy from what they saw from that run.
All right, the Virginia 200 about to get back underway. The lights are off on the pace car. Tim Johnston down on the bottom. Tommy Ryan going to get the start from up top. Here we go. The pace car is in. Tim Johnston really slow. The green flag is out. And Tim Johnston is on his way. Gets a nice break there from Tommy Ryan. Ryan already battling with Paul Pepper. Pepper down on the inside. Nice start for Pepper. He already slots up to second. Ryan following close behind. Brian Yazik up top, going to look to try and get it in there in front of Cadell. No. Cadell closing the gap as they get off the turn. And Cadell gets a little bit loose, and Yazik able to claim that fourth spot. Very nice start for Yazik there. Krahula still stuck up top, not making much ground. Falling victim to Devin Sarah. Sarah is around. Not around, but down on the bottom. He's paddling with Krahula for position. Nobody's around, folks. Nobody is around. We're green.
Yes, another clean start, and you can see that need to get to the bottom as it looks like Adam Platel's going up the track, and there's the caution. As it looks like Randy Yoakum went sideways, but did save it.
Boy, it looks like Randy, you know what? Randy had a little bit of trouble getting into the turn. I think it got a little tight on him. You're going to see here the 8 on the replay is kind of in the middle of all this. He's got Jersky just to the left of him, and then the 5 there up to the right of him. And like I said, Yoakum gets a little bit tight there, and it kind of got the car going in a couple of different directions there, unfortunately, and that contact gets Platel up in the wall. I think everybody, though, comes away pretty unscathed. Maybe just a little bit of right side damage on these cars, but we do get another caution there real quick.
Yeah,
now, what will everybody do here? We've got several takers for the pit lane. Several. Looks like maybe the top 5 or 6 staying out, but everybody, not everybody, but a good pack of cars right now. We've got probably about 8, 9, maybe 10 cars deciding to come down the pit lane.
Yeah, the leading of that group was James Krahula on that. They almost baited the rest. The leaders almost baited everyone else to come down with them. But of course, it's that with this little amount of a run, I don't know how much of a difference it's going to be unless there's a green flag run for a slight speed difference. But we do have a lucky dog.
We do. Time for Brutus to make another appearance. Wilco, is that Wilco going to get another lucky dog? It is. John Wilco, Back Row Motorsports' own. Hello, Brutus. Coastal Safety Auditors. Lucky dog goes to John Wilco again. Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire, life, and safety equipment. We're going to take a quick break here on the Global Sim Racing channel from the Virginia 200. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Premier Racing League Patriot Fire Cup. We're here for the Virginia 200 tonight at Richmond Raceway. And boy, Tim Johnston going to get to restart this race with Paul Pepper on his outside here. And we're going to have a great start. The lights are out on the pace car. Everybody's ready to go. We had some drivers come down, take a pit stop here on this quick second yellow. Everybody up front, though, still surviving on that one stop. The pace car is in. Tim Johnston going to get him cranked up here. Going to wait. And now he goes. Johnston on the loud pedal across the line. He is the man. Paul Pepper going toe-to-toe with Tommy Ryan. Good battle. And look at Yazik back there in fourth. Got Cadell draped all over his bumper. Devin Sarah with a good run here for the top five. Trying to get in it. Trying to do it from the top side. Nothing yet. Car still getting up to speed here as we complete one lap. Tim Johnston is your leader. Tommy Ryan still in second. Paul Pepper falling to third. Now falling into the clutches of Brian Yazik. That's going to be a battle. Yazik got a fast car here this evening. That Ford primed to take a win. Could certainly use it. Get a little padding in that championship lead he's got.
Yeah, he definitely needs that padding, and it helps kind of that Nick Cohan is not in the event tonight to help us. We do have more trouble.
Apparently Woody's had trouble out there. Woody Mahan, big trouble. Looks like he was able to save it, though. Good job, Woody. He hangs on to it. We do have a quick replay we can look at. Looks like Woody has trouble coming off of turn 4. No big surprise. You'll see that all night, and that car just gets really loose. It wasn't off of turn 4. It was actually off of turn 2. As we see, Woody able to recover. Does it without hitting the wall down there on the inside. Very, very fortunate. Loses a couple of spots. He's now in 16th. Nothing wrong with that. Plenty to dig for here. Oh, big battle side by side up in front of him. Tyler Dalton in the 76 and Rick Thompson. Wow, those two were door to door heading into the turn. Something had to give, and it was Rick Thompson. Tyler Dalton going to take that position away up to 8th. Rick stuck up there right now. He's falling into the clutches of Michael Krobach, about to lose another spot.
Yeah, right now Dalton having a great run to start off this green flag run. And you can see if you're Thompson, I'd be trying to get out to the bottom as soon as you can. Once Kurhula gets by you, you do not want to lose any more spots here. And speaking of spots, Kurhula is going to try and take one away from Krobach. And Thompson can't get in front of Harden in time. It's going to be 2x2, 2 abreast.
Yeah, Kurhula really with a nice run down there on the bottom. Got to the inside, got a fender in on Krobach, and it's kind of all over from there. And there's Ricky Harden right behind James following suit. Finding his old teammate up there in front of him. Ooh, a little bit of the wall there for Kurhula. Krobach looks to cross him over down on the inside, but James will have none of it. James scuffing up that right side just a little bit.
You mentioned Brian Yazik a few moments ago as well. He's now moved up into 3rd spot, Sean. Able to move right by Paul Pepper. And he's trying to catch up right to the back door of Tommy Ryan and Tim Johnston, who are currently out in front, about 4 car lengths ahead of those two. This could become a 3-car battle for the lead in just a few moments here, as we're already almost at lap 50.
Yeah, we're knocking him down and tearing him off. Right now, Tim Johnston in command of this race, but Tommy. Both those black and white cars. Tommy looking to really make a run here at the lead. Yazik seems to be content with 3rd right now. He's saving a little bit of fuel back there, trying not to burn it up. I do start to wonder how far some of these drivers will actually try to push it on tires. We've already, we're at that point right now on this short run that we've been on here, just about 15 laps, and we're already seeing the time starting to drop off again. Wilco still, not Wilco, but Stephen Herring in the 98, followed by Wilco just behind him. Those two still safe back of the field, but the leaders just now getting into turn 2. So quite a ways to go up to the front and to the back of the field. And you see Snoop Doggy Don Runkle there on the inside on your screen. That's the Pickle Rick machine. He's still in this race, very much so in this race, fighting hard. The team seems to be making gains here in the season. Watching the number 10 right now, Brody Hayes making another move.
Yeah, this is what we expect with short track racing. Action going on in every part of the racetrack. Brody Hayes, he's already up 14 spots, just about up to 6th. He started 21st, Sean. That is a big accomplishment to do that on mostly green flag runs. So even with the slight damage he has to that right side of the car, that's not even affecting him. He's moving up there and fast. So as long as he keeps hitting the marks and continues to be consistent and doesn't go too hard on those tires, who knows? We might see that become a bigger battle up front with Johnston, Ryan, and Yazik.
Yeah, talking about going hard on the tires. Now Tommy Ryan really looking antsy. He sees the light. He sees an opportunity in front of him. Tim Johnston still holding him off. This is two Carolina drivers going toe-to-toe here. I don't think these guys actually live too far from each other, if I remember correctly. But right now, Johnston got a handful of wheel and a mirror full of Tommy Ryan and a Northern Tool and Equipment Chevrolet. This is a blue oval versus the gold bow tie battle, and Ryan gets loose off of turn 4. Saw the rear end step out on that car just a little bit. Brian Yazik there to pick him up. Got to be careful, Tommy. Brian's watching.
Yeah, you don't want Brian to come to your front door and say, "Why'd you end up bumping into me after you got loose?" You don't want that kind of situation. Everybody now is going to have to start tiptoeing around this track on exit to make sure they do not get loose out of 2 and out of 4 into the tri-oval grass. You do not want to end up getting loose. So everyone's trying to just hang on. Tommy Ryan, he almost got snapped loose again out of 2 that time.
Oh, trouble for Justin Rodden. Justin had trouble coming out of turn 4, and he got a real tank slapper when sliding across the start-finish line and then slapped it again. Keeps it up in the wall. Many cars able to get by here. You're going to see him hit it. Man, he hit that hard. Wow. Ooh, back glide, pass for the lead. Sorry about that, folks. We wanted to see what was going on with Justin, but here we go. Tommy Ryan looking to the inside of Tim Johnston as they come around. Ryan is going to get the lead of the Virginia 200 at lap 54. And here comes Yazik. Yazik picking it up, too. Yazik on the inside of Johnson. He's going to take it away. Oh, Johnston fighting back, though, right off the fender of Yazik. Great job, though, by Johnson trying to hang on. Yazik still digging down below. Yazik gonna get this. He does. Yazik will go to second. Tim Johnston falls back to third. And guess who's still in the party? There he is, Paul Pepper. We do have a replay of that pass. Let's take a look at it real quick here. You're going to see Tommy Ryan pull off this move on Tim Johnston. Gets right up next to him. Puts the pressure on. They come down to the turn. Ryan's going to drop it down in there right on the line. Power out of the turn, past him and across the line. He slips right up in front of Tim Johnston and takes that lead. Now Tommy with a chance to run it out. He can run it out to the next pit stop. He can do whatever he wants. He's the leader. Yazik up to second, just behind him there in that 55 HPP Ford.
Yeah, he's got a lot to handle up there. We have seen after those passes they've been able to pull away a bit with the clean air, but of course, everyone's been able to reel back in the leader and try and make a move. And like you've seen with that pass for the lead on the replay, it took about the whole track around. It's kind of the track where you have to time it out. Just like Bristol, it takes a few laps to time out your passes and to make sure you can time out the proper exit. And now, if you're Brian Yazik and Tim Johnston, you're doing exactly that right now, along with Paul Pepper, to see, will someone make a mistake, and will I be able to capitalize in time?
Battle for 10th place here on track right now. Tyler Dalton, Adam Jersky going at it. Oh, Jersky just getting by Dalton there. Jersky on the bottom of that 71. Dalton on the outside of 19. Ooh, almost gets squeezed up there. Tyler powering it down the backstretch. Jersky got a nose ahead of him. Dalton powering it off the top. Ooh, nice momentum there for Tyler Dalton. He takes the position. Dalton up to 10th. Jersky going to stay down there on the bottom. These two are going to stay at it. All Krobach can do is sit back there and watch. Krobach and Rick Thompson. No, Krobach now looking to the bottom of Jersky. Krobach getting a run down there. Car starts to slide up a little bit. Almost makes contact with Jersky. Man, that was close. Now Tyler Dalton able to run and get away. Got his sights set on Ricky Harden and James Carolla right up there in front of him. Let's go, Ty. Time to get going, buddy.
Yeah, definitely time to get going. And you're seeing in some of these cases the difference between the pit strategy and just having fresher tires. Because guys like James Carolla, he was the first car to go into the pits, started 15th on the restart with about 5 green lap tire difference between everyone who stayed out. Now he's already back up to 8th. And a lot of the drivers who did stay out, especially in the lower 7 of that staying out group, are now dropping back. That's why you're seeing guys like Carolla having the slight speed difference to try and make passes on guys like Devin Serra right this second.
Boy, Paul Pepper really, really struggling. He just lost another position there. Tim Johnston, he was battling Tim Johnston for position, and car got really loose, almost sideways. Tim Johnston able to get by. There's the battle on screen, though. Carolla still digging here on the bottom. Serra trying to get him from the top side. Serra now drops in line right in front of Ricky Harden. Oh, Justin Rodden on the top side still having trouble. Boy, the number 27, it is not his night. Trying to see exactly what happened, but it looks like, yeah, he clipped the wall again. The car was just up on the top side of the track. He got a tremendous push, hits the wall hard, and then hits it again. And that time it did damage to the motor. Let's look at it here on screen. You see him get up into the wall. He slides, comes back across the track. Yazik just misses him. Wow.
Yeah, that could have been a mess there. Yeah, we're going on board with Yazik. Pardon me for cutting you off there.
Yeah, well, let's go on board with Yazik.
Yeah, Rodden just barely was able to keep it away from Yazik with that blown motor and everything after hitting that safer barrier on the exit.
Yeah, Rodden's still trying to get around to his pit stop, too, there. But, boy, a close call. Back up front, though, Tommy Ryan still in command of this race now. He's opening up just a bit. He's gotten around the lap car of John Wilco. Put some distance between him and Brian Yazik now. Left Yazik back there to fight with his competitors, Tim Johnston and Paul Pepper. But, Tommy really, really dialed in right now. I'll tell you one person that doesn't want to see a caution. That's Tommy Ryan. He's pretty happy with the way this race is shaping up. He's got a couple more lapped cars in front of him. He's got really nothing but traffic in front of him at this point. Steve Herring and you've got Snoop Doggy Don Runkle also there. But Ryan closing on those guys quick. Tell you what, he's one of the cars that did not pit right now. About 47 laps on the tires, and Tommy seems to be making it work.
He definitely is making it work, and he's now going to have to navigate more lap traffic with some of the cars right in front of him. Stephen Herring and Don Runkle Jr. are just a few car lengths in front of him at the moment. But I wonder at this point when he's thinking of going to go into the pits here, because, of course, you can go about 100 laps on fuel, but you definitely don't want to do that. So if you're him, what do you do here? Wait until the halfway point for the bonus points? Do you go to lap 75 and break it up from there? There's a lot of different things we're going to start seeing probably in the next 10, 15, 20 laps here with pit strategy.
Yeah, I think you're racing for those bonus points right now. I know Tommy certainly is now. John Wilco getting passed by our other top cars here and letting them get by cleanly. In fact, Brody Hayes. Man, Brody Hayes, that horse just keeps a running, baby. Hayes now up to 6th. Started 21st in this race, and it's all been hard work. Hayes, 50 laps, only one stop for him, and that Camry is on the move still. A very unsponsored car. Somebody get in touch with Brody Hayes, man. He needs a sponsor, and I'm sure he'd be able to be happy to put somebody on that car. Listen, that's a fast horse, and if you want to get some advertising done, Brody Hayes may be the guy to do it with, guys, because I don't think it's going to be long before he wins a race in this league. Having a great run there, fighting with Jonathan Cadell, looking to get into the top 5. Up front, though, much of the same. It's Brian Yazik in second. Tommy Ryan still able to put some distance between him as he just got around Don Runkle in the Pickle Rick Toyota. And the rest of the guys now still having to fight through that traffic. So right now, what is it? About a 2.5 second advantage there for Tommy. We ride on board with Tim Johnson. You see him following Paul Pepper. These guys, Tim Johnson coming into the pit, dropping down.
I did mention lap 75, and he's probably bringing it in for that. Exactly. It's been about 40, 50 laps on the tires, so he's going to try and get that fresh tires and try and get a bit of an advantage. Hope if it ends up staying green speed-wise. Obviously, he's probably going to get 4 tires here.
54 laps it was for him. So there we go. That's one domino. That is one domino has fallen. Now, one thing he doesn't want to see is a caution flag right now. That would be just absolutely a backbreaker. Because everybody else has still stayed out here.
Randy Yoakum still joining him, pardon me, but like you said, something's going on up front.
Yeah, and it's Tommy Ryan still working through traffic here. Now he's getting by Adam Littell. Look at this, Brody Hayes. Hayes up to 4th. Of course, he gained a spot there with the pit stop, but he does finally get around Jonathan Cadell. More cars coming in the pit. Now we see Adam Littell coming down. Man, Brody Hayes has really looked up, and that car is flying. And he is also one pit stop for him. Approaching 60 laps on those tires. Come across the line here. It'll be lap 80, 20 to go to the halfway mark.
Yeah, I think he's...
Go ahead.
He's definitely managing the tires better, I think, than the cars who went afterwards on that second caution. Because you're looking at these times right now. He's running 2 tenths, 3 tenths faster than guys who have been out there for with their tires about 5-10 laps shorter. So he's definitely being able to conserve them the exact way you need to do here at Richmond, and that is exactly why he's up here at 4th as we're down to lap 81 already.
Yeah, I don't think Tommy Ryan's going anywhere but to the halfway point for those Big Ten bonus points. Car looks good still. He's still turning in 21.8, which is, listen, a great time to still be running here. Still under 22 seconds, and with the older tires, again, you're basically your top 6 right now. Still on that same strategy. You'll go back to Krahula and Adam Jersky, who came in at the last caution flag. And right now, we have 16 cars left on the lead lap. Chris Scala being that last of them, Devin Cannon being the first car, a lap down right now.
Yeah, one missed time caution, and some of these cars who have gone to pit already, their strategies are going to be blown to bits. You definitely do not want to see that yellow flag. You mentioned that when the first of the cars went in, especially Johnston. It's definitely going to be the case still right now, especially now that it's getting longer and longer run.
And watching Tommy Ryan pass Chris Scala. Now putting Scala a lap down. So Tommy still picking him off here. Krobach giving direction on track, trying to work with someone here and get through cleanly.
I believe he was working with Randy Yoakum, who was one of the first cars to pit.
Krahula's in. James Krahula is in, and just behind him, let's see, he's got another customer here coming down pit lane, and that's Jonathan Lawrence. He's a couple laps down, but very notable that he is that Krahula's in. You see cars maybe start making that dive off here. We do have that halfway point closing in. I find it hard to believe anybody in the top 10 is going to want to peel off right now. Oh, boy. We've got Ricky Harden making a charge there at Jonathan Goodell. They almost made contact. And, boy, Ricky looking pretty impatient there. Made a run at him and then said, yeah, I better back off. The unacceptable racing driver, a little bit of patience there. Plays it smart, but Goodell making a run at Brody Hayes. Boy, this is, I think, the first competition Brody Hayes has seen all night. He's done nothing but pass cars. Now he's got one trying to pass him. I don't know, does Brody take a pass as well as he gives one? We'll see. There's Ricky Harden moving down to the inside. Gets down under Goodell. Harden looking to get up to that 5th spot. Oh, boy. Him and John are really, really close there on track. Hayes still leading him around. 10 laps to go to the halfway point.
10 laps until we get some more bonus points rewarded on the season as well for that halfway mark. So it's definitely a lot of shuffling because the points are starting to become more and more of a factor as the season starts to wind down, and especially as well for those fall standings. All of them wanting to catch up to Yazik and Kohan as look at this.
Harden trying to pull this off. He's got him. He's got him. Hayes going to drop in line. Not going to cross him over. Not yet anyway. Oh yeah, Harden looking good now. That car really dialed in. You got the Chevy turning. So important to get these cars to turn here at Richmond. He does it. He's starting to pull away from Brody Hayes just a little bit. Both cars on the same strategy.
Yeah, but I think Brody Hayes may have worn out those tires a little bit too much in that past 10-15 lap stretch trying to make a couple moves. Meanwhile, speaking of stretching things out, Tommy Ryan up to 5 seconds now, lapped traffic's galore, helping separate that lead more and more. This is going to continue to be a factor. Brian Yazik, meanwhile, still clinging to that 2nd spot over Paul Pepper. I don't know what you can do except hope for pit strategies to work out, as we do have an air pass going on. Hayes and Goodell.
Yeah, these two are having a little bit of fun now, and boy, Jim Johnston is a lap down, and but these two having a blast here on track. Almost said they're having the time of their life, but that was somebody else. Stay away from that.
I honestly don't know what you're talking about with that example, but let's pretend that did not happen, as it looks like with all these fresh tires just dealing right now, you're seeing more people peeling down.
Yeah. John Wilco out on track trying to hang on. He just got a little bit of the wall as a couple of our leaders were coming through there, and Yazik and Paul Pepper. Pretty scary moment for them. There's Pickle Rick on pit road. Here we go. There's Yazik coming down the straightaway, heading through the turn. Paul Pepper still got him. Still right there with him.
Yeah, we're seeing more of that strategy of cars that are just outside that top 10. We're down to just 11 on the lead lap. And the main position battle up front really has been Yazik versus Pepper, as Pepper's closed that from about 4/10 to 2/10 now as the runs continue. But look at that interval. Ricky Harden, he's been able to claw his way up to 4th. He's definitely got some kind of long run set up here. He was able to get this car to run 100 laps on one set of tires. So who knows, we might see this become a 3-car battle for second and pretty soon.
Well, as we go around here, Tommy Ryan having such a solid run here. Really, after that caution flag, he fought up to the front, got it. He's going to come around to start lap 100. And upon completion of this lap, I can tell you, he's going to be very excited to pick up those points. Yazik is not going to catch him. He's almost a full 6 seconds behind him. Yazik got Paul Pepper to deal with right now. But Ricky Harden making his way into turn 3, now getting through the center of the turn. He'll come off a 4. Tommy Ryan, boy, I keep doing that. Tommy, going to be your American Pool Supply Halfway Award winner. And Justin, the next time I do that, I got to put some money in the jar because I don't know why, but I keep mixing up the two. I think it's something I've always done. They used to run the same colors, and boy, doesn't take long for our leader Tommy Ryan to decide, you know what, better points, and the leader is in. Who will follow? No, oh, the yellow is out.
Oh my goodness!
Oh boy, and it was Derek Paulson with trouble off of turn 2. Car spins in the middle of the track. We got the replay coming. Oh man, Derek Paulson gets off of turn 2 and the car starts to slide. He tries to catch it. He'll hit the number 76 of Rick Thompson as he's going by. Thompson able to recover, but boy, John Wilco hits him hard. That might be an ender for Wilco. Lots of smoke on the car. A lot of damage there. Lots of damage.
Yeah, that is just a bad situation. If you're both Thompson and Wilco, there's nothing to really do in that situation other than hope you minimize damage. But guess what? That came out right as some of the leaders were coming in the pits. This is going to really jumble things up. A bunch of discussions going on involving that now. We already have a lucky dog on top of that. And wonder who it is.
Well, it's going to be Chris Scala, Captain Motorsports driver, picking up the lucky dog by Coastal Safety Auditors. Thanks, Brutus. Good dog. Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire, life, and safety equipment. A couple people were entering the pits when the caution came out, and they may incur closing, folks. It happens.
Yeah, Jonathan Goodell was one of those people. He had it clear. He had his black flags just cleared, actually, because the caution came out right as he was coming in the pits, and some of the cars, like including Tommy Ryan, had just came in and decided to not go in their stalls after and are now in. Now this is really just going to shift around the entire order here, because before it looked like Tommy Ryan got his bonus points and ran to the pits. Now he's going to be stuck in traffic. Ricky Harden has moved his way up to first place because of the caution flag and where things lie down.
Yeah, this is a bit of a mess to straighten out right now. Now, the good thing is it allows a lot of cars to actually get back on the lead lap that had fallen off of that lead lap. So, interesting things going on here in the Premier Racing League. It was a very untimely caution. We've passed the halfway point in the race, and I got to tell you, that was a fun green flag run we got there.
It was, and I was expecting it to last a lot longer. I just wasn't expecting the caution to come out just after the halfway mark and the bonus points. And I don't think I think everyone else is having that same mindset, because I think everyone wanted that to stay green at least a few laps longer so they didn't get stuck with the way this thing sorted out. I'm still stunned with everything, as you can probably tell. The question is, will we get a same kind of run as we go back to green pretty soon, as cars are starting to get their wave arounds right now, or are we going to see the cautions breed cautions situation? I don't want to jinx that, as you said you didn't want to jinx that first caution. I don't want to definitely do that at lap 106. But we do have different competitors up front because of that one caution.
Okay, the lights are out on the pace car. We've got Ricky Harden, Brian Yazzie will be on the front row, followed by Brody Hayes and Paul Pepper. Row 2, Michael Krobach, Adam Jersky will restart row 3, Woody Mahan and Tyler Dalton on row 4. Matt Murphy, Tim Johnston, row 5. Here we go. The pace car is off. It's up to Ricky Harden. What's he going to do? He's going to be really slow here. Get them all stacked up, and Ricky Harden unleashes the beast. The Michelin tire man is off and away across the line. He is the leader down into turn 1. Paul Pepper fighting hard. Brian Yazzie slips into third. Cleanly, Brody Hayes still stuck up on top, but he gets around Jersky in front of him. Lots of chatter on the radio here getting started as cars shuffle in and try and get started.
Got a lot of different shuffling here. You can see. Oh, and we got some contact, and it's Tyler Dalton.
Dalton's around. Got a little bit of contact with the 42 of Matt Murphy. Everybody's able to save it. Boy, that was a quick caution. That came out really, really quick.
Yeah, it did. I did mention cautions breed cautions. I apologize if I was the jinx to that. Woody Mahan got to the back bumper and just got slid hit by Matt Murphy.
Yeah.
And my goodness, Tommy Ryan, who was the leader before the last caution, almost got probably the worst luck possible as we're watching the onboard from there. He had to stomp on the brakes to avoid Dalton. Got a little bit of damage there from that.
He does pick up a little bit there. Yeah, you're right, Justin. Tough break.
In fact, as we just seen at the corner of the camera angle, we just saw his hood was crunched a little more than I thought there. Someone described before that last restart that he was stuck on a canoe with no paddle. I think half the canoe just fell apart, and he's now trying to hold on to the seat.
Well, here we go. Another appearance by Brutus, our lucky dog. Gonna go to Devin Serra, another Captain Motorsports driver. Picking that up, the Fred J. Moyer Plumbing Chevrolet coming around there for the Coastal Safety Auditors lucky dog. Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire, life, and safety equipment down the pit road. There's Tommy Ryan on the jacks, and while they finish these pit stops, we're going to break away for a quick break here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. Back on the Global Sim Racing Channel here for the Virginia 200. Almost about ready to get restarted here. Ricky Harden from the point. Paul Pepper going to start on the outside. And that second row, still Brian Yazik and Brody Hayes. We're in for a fight, folks. We're going to come around and start lap 114 as the pace car peels off. Ricky Harden going to set him. And he's going to drop him. There we go. On the hammer. To the line, Ricky Harden taking control here. Restart at lap 114 coming around. Yazik digging down below. Paul Pepper stuck up there on the top side. Gonna slot into third, maybe not for long. Here comes Brody Hayes. Michael Krobach up into the mix on the outside. There in fifth, fighting with Jersky in the 71. Harden will come around and lead this first lap of the restart. Oh, and Yazik's around. Paul Pepper and Yazik.
Man.
Brody Hayes starts spinning. Big caution flag down into 1.
Oh my goodness. That is all I got to say on that one. My goodness.
A lot of cars collected in that. Of course, that were your leaders there up front. Well, Paul Pepper going to get a little bit of a run there at Yazik. Gets to the inside. Yazik goes around, makes contact with the outside wall. You see Grahula down there spinning. The 4 gets caught up in that. In fact, the 4 is smoking bad. Big damage there for James Grahula. Another replay. There's Jersky in the 71 up front there. You see Pepper in the 29, though, and make that contact with Yazik. Krobach getting into the side of Jersky. Jersky goes around there for a moment. Brody Hayes just gets by all that.
Yeah, no.
What's going on with Jimmy?
Hayes actually went sideways from that, but man, the Frosty Pop racing car, I don't even know how to even put this. Man, that is just bad luck to the extreme.
It was. You're exactly right. Bad luck to the extreme there for James. And he did pick up, as I said, some heavy damage on the car. Smoking all the way around. Bad case of cautions, breeding cautions. We do have a lucky dog. Do these pit stops first. Everybody peeling off now. Tim Johnston got the brake on them all. Now we'll go to that lucky dog. I believe that it's going to be Snoop Doggy Don Ruckle. Steel Horse Racing Red Team. On the pickle wreck, there he is in the Toyota Camry. Brutus, good dog, buddy. The Coastal Safety Auditor's lucky dog goes to Don Ruckle Jr. Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire, life, and safety equipment. Still scrambling on pit road. Cars trying to pick up some of this damage they got. A lot of cars involved with that last one there. And boy, I can imagine Krahula might be in for a little bit. Yazik with some pretty significant damage on his car.
Yeah,
Boy.
A lot of different drivers all behind that garage area. Krahula just barely, I think, got to his pit stop after the motor stopped smoking and completely expired. But that's at least a 30-minute repair with that kind of motor damage. Paul Pepper with that bump on Yazik. He's got a ton of front-end damage on that. Just the whole complexion of this race just turned upside down. You had guys who went sideways but are still in good track position. And you have guys who started off the pit strategy. At lap 75, Tim Johnston was one of the first to come in during green flag stops. It has slowly worked its way now to the front because of all that shuffling and everything that just happened there. Cautions, 3 cautions. But this is just, I think, overkill in this kind of situation.
Well, Brody Hayes picked up some damage on that last incident there. He got some front end damage on the car, both sides of the car. I wonder how she'll handle when they get restarted, because he's going to restart in third down there on the bottom. I talked earlier about Brody Hayes and maybe a chance to see a first-time winner here in the Patriot Fire Cup Series, and Brody looked strong all night. Now he's got to deal with a little bit of damage on the car. I think most of it is aero. I don't think there's any real structural damage to the car. He might be in good shape when we get restarted. He's going to have to do it with Jonathan Goodell on his right side. Tim Johnston, Devin Serra are going to get us started off. So the Fred J. Moyer plumbing car finally getting up here towards the front, making his first appearance on the front row this evening when we get restarted. The lights are out. We're ready to go here in the Virginia 200. Tim Johnston going to lead him around very slowly here. 50 miles an hour getting through the turn. The Ford Mustang pace car, presented by iRacing, is down and away. And here comes Tim Johnston. He's on it. Tim Johnston across the line gets him started nice and easy. Brody Hayes up to second quickly. Here comes Ricky Harden on his tail. Sarah getting caught up top there. Not able to get the run going. Harden almost clears him, but not quite. Now he's going to clear him. Harden going to power it down to the bottom and take away third place. Sarah now stuck up top. just behind him, or just next to him, Jonathan Goodell, and just behind him, Tommy Ryan.
Oh my goodness, Woody Mahan almost lost it again just behind those guys. He just saved it going about 75 degrees through turns 1 and 2. He's still going, as you're seeing here. He's dropping back now to 12, but we are still going. That could have been another caution there, but a good save and a lot of different action. Meanwhile, Devin Serra is dropping like a rock, stuck on that high side. I did mention that if you're stuck on the high side for a long time, you lose all that time. But Serra has been struggling at times with the car speed tempo. You can see he's running about 21.2s right now. Everyone else is running about 21 flats. He's got to find a way to pick it up fast, or else he's going to get passed by his teammate right now.
And Serra did not pit that last time. So just a few more laps on those tires. And boy, that sent him tumbling through the field. Another driver who did not pit that last time, our leader, Tim Johnston, still out here running, having a nice go at it. Brody Hayes not able to pick him up yet. Hayes, though, in second, and the damage, as I said, on that car not looking too bad. Obviously, he's still tracking around here well, right in the tracks of Tim Johnston. Now, Ricky Harden back there in third seems to be pretty good. Let's go back through the field here and just see, make sure everybody's still in line. Not a lot of battling for position. Everybody just trying to settle in here. Keep it going right now. We've got 21 cars on track. I think 20 on track right now. And maybe 19, actually. James Grahula still sitting in his pit stall. As you said there, Justin, probably in for a long one due to that engine damage.
Yeah, but both him
battle
and
for sixth. Yeah, there we go. There's a good one here. Yeah, it's going to be Paul Pepper, Devin Serra fighting it out. Pepper with some left side damage on the car, still able to put the power down on the inside. Gets the position from Serra into sixth. Serra continuing that tumble. His teammate behind him, Chris Scala, in eighth. Pepper, though, able to pull that. Now battle up front. Brody Hayes looking like he's going to jump here. On board with Brody.
Yeah, both of them are running about dead even times right now. In fact, on the last time, he's slightly faster. They got the exact same speeds down to pad and everything. So it's just got him time out the exit. Doesn't get as good of an exit there, as he's going to fall back about a car length. But he might be deciding to just roll it back a bit, because a lot of it comes to the exit out of 2 to get to the bottom for the pass out of 3 and 4.
Yeah, and that little bit of damage might be making the push a little bit more difficult on that Camry. When he gets right up behind Johnston, it really takes the downforce off of his car, and oh boy, close moment there for Brody Hayes as he got a little bit too far down to the apron. The front end of that car got a little wiggle out of it, but he hangs on. Got to watch out for Ricky Harden. Harden is no slouch, folks. Harden right there, ready to pick up any mistake. He knows Hayes is vulnerable. He sees him there. He saw him struggle once. Harden's in this thing for the long haul. Chris, I'm sorry, Justin.
Mm-hmm.
Where did that come from?
Yeah, maybe you're thinking of Chris Scala, who's currently running in the top 10 as well in 9th position, as he has broadcasted a lot of races with GSRC as well in that number 37 Fred J. Moyer car. He has been a lucky dog at one point of this race too, and with all the strategy and the cautions going on, he's having himself a decent race for the GSRC alumni. I'm curious to see if he can keep it up. Meanwhile, Tommy Ryan, we talked about some bad luck before. He does have slight damage still, but he did get most of it repaired, as is the case with Paul Pepper with the front. And you can see Tommy Ryan's not really hurting him too much.
No,
it might be actually helping him.
Yeah, Tommy making a run at it now for sure.
The one thing I have to be concerned about, though, if you're Tommy and Pepper, Ryan and Pepper, pardon me, is the engine test. Ooh. Because as
Tommy making a move. I'm sorry, Tommy makes that big move on Cadell right there. Wow, went right under him, passed him clean. We've never mentioned Tommy's nickname. It's there on the top of the the top of the door, Yotimus. Not sure what Yotimus stands for. I'll have to ask Tommy about that at some point.
Who knows, you might ask him about that tonight, but Yotimus has got that clean air. And I was at the mentioning with the clean air, that might end up helping him because the damage on that front end could end up leading to the oil temps rising and the water temps. So this is kind of what Ryan wants to see here, as now it's that 3-car battle you're seeing on your screen for that.
Yeah, it's a good one, man. Ricky looking pretty strong back there, actually, in that third spot. He's lying in wait, but while he does, sit there in third, Tommy Ryan is picking him up. And that's 2 teammates there, have been for a long time, a couple of unacceptable racing drivers. Missing their old buddy James Scrivola right now, who picks up some bad luck tonight. You know, James Scrivola doesn't have a lot of bad luck. He lives a charmed life, but tonight, boy, going to come up a little short here this evening. Man, the battle up front's still really good. But even in the back here, look at Krobach still running, getting under Chris Scala there. Krobach up to 10th. Love to see Krobach get a top 10 run up front. Ricky Harden was just all over the bumper of Brody Hayes. I mean, it was almost like bump drafting through the turn.
Yeah, I was about to mention that myself because I kind of don't think that's what you want to do at Richmond. Maybe at Talladega, but not here. But he does get the move for the pass.
Yeah, he's trying to pull it off, and he's gonna bring Tommy Ryan with him. Nothing is decided here. Harden really trying to hang on to the car down below. It's nothing is certain. I see the car moving all over the track right now. He's really fighting it. Just trying to keep it reined in and keep it from sliding up the track. Oh boy, they are door to door. Maybe even swap it a little bit of paint. That wouldn't be the first time anybody swapped paint at Richmond.
I think that is very much the case, as the thing I want to say here is as Harden finally gets by, if it keeps going side by side like this for more and more laps, it's going to wear out Harden's tires. And I've seen in some cases where it does end up being 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 laps 2 by 2, where in the end the car on the inside could not handle it anymore. Harden does not want that to happen here as he finally clears off that pass.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Ricky Harden putting in the work. Up to second. Tommy Ryan now behind Hayes. They'll look to do the same thing. Hayes not giving anything away tonight, though. Boy, they fought hard for several laps there. We'll get Woody Mahan here battling Chris Scala. The Pearl. The Loud Pedal Motorsports, I'm sorry, not the Pearl, the Jewel. Got to get my gems right. Woody getting around clean. He finally gets by Scala. That puts Woody up to 12th. Not bad for Woody. You know, Woody started actually, he started back in 23rd, still digging a little bit of damage on the right front of the car, but still got the Ford running. Scala going to keep fighting behind him. Tyler Dalton just up in front of him there, leading that little pack. Ty still on the lead lap here in 11th. We've got right now 13 cars on this lead lap. Don Runkle sitting back there a lap down. If we get a caution, he would stand to get that lucky dog again.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people already probably thinking of strategy. One car who went into the pits, in fact, put it behind the garage, pardon me, is Randy Yoakum. Pardon me on that, but the pit strategy, regardless, will be something to be coming up because I wonder, while the fuel's good, you will have to probably see these cars have to come in maybe one more time to get tires to make sure they got the maximum speed they want to have. So you might see cars try to stretch it out by 20 laps to make sure they have a faster run than some of the faster guys, as Krobach following right in single file.
Okay, our leaders now coming around the lap car of Derek Paulson. Everybody getting through here, but it's still a little over a second. Jim Johnston in front of Ricky Harden. Brody Hayes in third. Let's run it down here for you. Tommy Ryan in fourth. Jonathan Cadell currently fifth. Paul Pepper sixth. Devin Serra seventh. Adam Jersky in eighth. Michael Krobach and Devin Cannon complete your top 10 right now. Tyler Dalton slowly crawling up though to fight for that 10th position.
Yeah, he's currently in 11th spot at the moment. Woody Mahan is right behind them, a few seconds back in 12th. A few tenths, pardon me. Chris Scala currently on the tail end of the lead lap in 13th. While in the lucky dog spot, Don Runkle Jr., Stephen Herring is also a lap down. They are both in a battle, as you're seeing there, for 14th position. So they're running close. Derek Paulson's now 2 laps down in 16th. Matt Murphy is in 17th, while Rick Thompson, he got some damage before. He's all the way back in 18th, about 10-11 laps down at the moment. And that's about it right now on track. Everyone else is either in pit lane or behind the garage area, just waiting for this thing to happen. And often, oh, and I think somebody blew up. Yeah, that's Matt Murphy.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think he might have popped a motor. Had some damage he was dealing with, and you talked about this earlier, about the front end damage on some of these cars, Justin, and it looks like his motor just gave up on him. And in fact, it did. Matt Murphy pulls down and out of the way. Great job by him to do so. Keeps us mean and green. Here we come around. It'll be just 45 short laps to go. Johnston continues to just really kind of pull away. He's now over a second and a half ahead of Ricky Harden and Tommy Ryan, who's finally got up to that third spot. That's just unacceptable. Brody Hayes back to fourth.
Well, it helps when you're running 0.2 of a second faster lap times compared to everyone else behind you. That time they flattened out to about even, but Johnson's been able to pull away with that because of how he's been doing. The question is, to me though, is he burning up those tires too fast?
Chris Scala coming into the pits. Scala is in. All right, so that's the first domino. That was one of your lead lap cars. So we'll keep an eye on Scala's progress here in relation to everyone else. I do expect everybody will. I don't know, man. If this thing stays green, I wouldn't be shocked to see Johnston, Tommy Ryan, Ricky Harden, your leaders just keep going as long as they can right now. They've got the fuel. If they can continue to ride these tires out, and right now Tim Johnston seems to be really driving it well, not fighting the car at all and getting by traffic clean. And trust me when I tell you, there's more traffic's going to come through here. We see right on screen there Tommy Ryan getting up under the 76. Rick doing a good job of getting out of the way. Going to move back up the track and let Ricky Harden come through. And boy, the top three have now started to pull away from everybody else. Brody Hayes, boy, I think you hit on something there, Justin. I think Brody just maybe starting to use the car up a little bit too much. Might have fought a little bit too hard too early.
Now, we've seen this at Darlington as well last week, where he started off very well in the run, then just fell off slightly faster than everybody else. That's why he's now back to fifth. He's more in the short range kind of range, while Ricky Harden, for example, who's in third, might be in that long run focused range and strategy and for driving style. So you're seeing the different things playing out, the different strategies as this run continues. Jonathan Cadell, though, still in that fourth position.
Oh, boy, Crows, I'm sorry, bad moment there for Michael Krobach getting into turn two. Oh, he makes contact with Paulson in the 5, and we're going to catch a replay of it here. They were side by side, a very, very close moment for Michael Krobach, who is still got plenty to fight for here in 8th. You see him, he starts sliding Nice. Krobach doing a great job of saving that car. Boy, that could have been bad. That could have been an ender for Krobach. And certainly a caution flag for this field. Tim Johnston does not want a caution flag right now. He wants this race to keep going. Johnston passing more lap traffic, getting by the Dairy Queen Blizzard. And the Blizzard almost got blown out of town there by Tommy Ryan.
Yeah, that would have not been a great situation, but you did mention Ryan. He's caught up back right up to Johnston. Johnston, pardon me. Just like that, they're now seeing Ryan having faster lap times, just slightly than Johnston, so that might have explained the 0.2 of a second gap while passing those lap cars. He might have chewed those tires up a bit. I wouldn't be surprised if he is one of the first cars in this main league grouping to come in. We've only seen 2 cars go in on this green flag run so far.
Yeah, Scala, the first one to come in, and it was Don Runkle right behind him. Both find themselves a lap down currently. Yeah, I'm sorry. Chris Scala 2 laps down. Don Runkle Jr. 3 laps down right now. Got to get my counter right. Thanks to the director for bailing me out. Tim Johnston up front, still leading us around. Tommy Ryan, though, really starting to make the run at him. I think we're going to have a move for a pass here in probably a lap or 2. Ryan able to take that car in just a little bit deeper and send it into the turn. Unlike Tim Johnston, his time at the top, it might be fading away. We'll see here. He does look to be struggling with that car for the first time during this run. Tommy doing a good job of just hanging in there with him. I've seen a lot of patience this evening. That's one thing we've seen tonight, and I think that's what's led to the lack of caution flags this evening. It's just a lot of patient drivers out there. Yeah, there's been some attrition, but overall this has been very, very well run for a Richmond race.
I have to agree with you with that, because with short track racing it's important to have the patience, but we do have the battle for the lead, and Ryan's up front.
And that is your new leader, Tommy Ryan. Ryan with a very, very nice run there to the top. He worked on it for quite a while. He finally gets it done with 29 laps to go. Got one on our hands here. Again, these guys can run it out. Tommy, Tim, Ricky Harden, Jonathan Cadell, Brody Hayes, if that's what they want to do, it's up to them. I got to be honest with you, I don't see anybody behind them catching him. You get outside the top 6, and it's 12 seconds back to Adam Jersky. I don't see him picking up 12 seconds to come and battle Tommy Ryan for the lead of this race. Ryan wise to just keep Tim Johnson in his mirror and pay attention to the traffic in front of him, of which right now he has none. Right now he's clear ahead, and honestly he's clear behind, because Tim Johnston seems to have fallen off just a bit. And Tommy has taken that to about a half second. Ricky Harden not looking quite as strong as he once was. That car has started to slow down.
Yeah, one of the cars, you mentioned they have a lot of clear space ahead of them. There are 3 cars ahead of them. Devin Serra, Derek Paulson, and in the middle of those 2, guess who's back on track? James Krahula has got his damage fixed. He's currently about 23-ish laps down, give or take. So right now he's back out on track trying to get as much position as he can. So it's good to see him back out there after seeing the barbecue of a motor. Yep. Luckily able to salvage at least something out of his day, and he's still running fairly okay times with 22.1s.
Yeah, and he's going to be able to pick up a position here on, let's see, he's got Matt Murphy in front of him who's still in the pit. So, and that's right, Matt lost the motor. So, you know what, James, they're on track a little slow. He's definitely slow, off pace. I'm guessing the car not handling, he's just trying to stay out of the way. And the cars that just got by him, that was Tim Johnston and Chris Scala trying to get a lap back. These two not really battling for position, but again, Scala fighting to try and get a lap back on the race. Just up in front of him, the number 6 is battling. He just gets by Paulson. Tommy Ryan, your leader, continues to lead this race. 10, Johnston almost a full second behind him and now has to navigate the traffic. Ryan up here approaching Devin Serra's car. That'll put Devin Serra a lap down. That'll leave 11 cars on the lead lap, and Ryan going to pull off this pass. Still in the lead. Now we have 11 cars on the lead lap. Devin Cannon, the next car, but that is quite a ways away. Got nothing to worry about here right now. All Ryan's got to do is continue to worry about the track in front of him. Nothing in his mirror, so to speak. The pressure is off. Pressure to perform, that's all he's got left. With 20 laps to go. 20. It's time to drop the disco ball. Let's get boogieing, baby.
Yeah, get boogieing and try and get on that loud pedal, because if you have anything left in your car, you want to get going now without burning up those tires. If you're Johnston, you do not want to see Tommy Ryan go away. If anything, you might have to kind of depend on a caution to come out in his case if he keeps falling back the way he is. If you're Chris Scala, meanwhile, you want to get by Tommy Ryan here and get your lap back, because you're in line with that lucky dog if you do that.
Yeah, and but you got to be real careful though with Scala obviously on fresher tires. Got to be careful with how you let him by and not you don't want to mess it up. You don't want to be the caution there. So they're fighting, Scala fighting for position, obviously, fighting to get back on that lead lap. But you don't want to do it at the expense of the leader of the race.
Yeah, meanwhile, we do still have action going across the track. Of course, Adam Jersky leading the train across the course now in 7th, holding off Michael Krolbach and Tyler Dalton. Dalton, of course, having that damage from an earlier incident, and Krolbach having a bunch of lucky horseshoes today with some of the incidents he's had, near misses, I should say, today. Just both of them trying to catch up there, while Woody Mahan's trying to close the gap just right behind him, about 5-10 car lengths just about. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a move here by Krolbach if he can get a good exit in the next couple laps. Look at this.
He's trying. He's working on it for sure. Krolbach been steady most of the evening. Tyler Dalton, though, looking to make a run at him. Going to give it a shot. You know, somebody who we haven't talked about much at all tonight. We watched Tyler Dalton. Boy, that car got a little tight on him as he ran up on Krolbach. He's able to reel it back in. We haven't talked much about Jonathan Goodell. Goodell currently sitting in 4th place. Guess what? That's exactly where he started. The Steel Horse Racing driver having a great run tonight here at Richmond. Of course, he's from the Virginias, so I can't say that I'm altogether shocked that a driver from the Virginias is doing well at what might be his home track, unless it's Martinsville. So, or I don't know, maybe it's South Boston. Maybe we get a chance to talk to him tonight. We'll see. Jonathan Goodell not too far away from fighting for the podium of this race, but back here, Tyler Dalton trying to complete this pass on Michael Krolbach. Finally gets under him. Dalton under Krolbach. Going to try and make this work. Oh boy, they're side by side heading to the turn. Jersky just up in front of him, but right now Tyler Dalton stuck there on the bottom, and give it to Michael Krolbach on the top side across the line. These two still going at it, almost make contact there.
Yeah, that was a bit scary. Dalton almost slid up right into Krolbach on the entry, as he's trying to do a bit of a slide job to get that position, and this time it's Dalton, I think, at the line.
Yeah, here we go. Back and forth they go.
And it looks like Krolbach might have to let off because Thompson's right up in front of them. You do not want to go 3 wide. Yep, there's Krolbach having to let off.
Yeah, he's got to give there. You do not want to have trouble with a lapped car and Rick Thompson. They, to Thompson's credit, did a great job of getting out of the way. Only so many choices Michael Krolbach has there, though. How about the race Adam Jersky's got going, though, man? Jersky holding it down in 7th, keeping these guys in his mirror, having a solid run tonight. Jersky started 19th up to 7th. He's avoided a lot of trouble, got a little bit of damage on the front end, but here comes Tyler Dalton now looking down to the inside, down into turn 1. Ty looking to take it away. They are side by side. A little bit of paint traded there between those two Chevrolets. Still going at it down the backstretch. Oh, Jersky spinning. Oh, saves it. What a save by Adam Jersky. No caution. That's great news.
I think that is especially great news because Tommy Ryan is coming right up right behind them. So that could have been very, very costly in multiple different ways with the leaders coming right on through here. You don't want to get sideways when the leader is trying to make that move.
Man, look at Ricky go. He's reeled in the Jewel who we followed several times this evening, and Ricky gonna get down there and gonna let him go.
And that is Tommy Ryan, not Ricky Harden this time around, who's making that move
again
to correct you, as the director actually told you that right after you said that.
Yeah, I did it again. Okay,
But,
all right, we'll get that straightened out. I promise. Ricky,
we have a finish to focus on.
I'm gonna get messages from both of them. Tommy Ryan going at it here though. With now we're gonna come across the stripe with 5 laps left. He's got nothing but traffic in front of him. Runs right up on the 83. Almost, I think he might have even given him a tap there. Get out of the way. Here he comes. Jersky right there outside his right fender. We're on board here with the Northern Tool and Equipment Chevrolet. 4 laps to go this time by. Hang on there, Tommy. Tim Johnson actually starting to reel it in just a bit. Just under a second, about 3/4 of a second behind him. This could still be a race. Everybody moving out of the way. Here comes Tommy up on Krobach. These are cars that were on the lead lap and now losing the lead lap. We've now gone to 7 cars left. That's it. Tommy with a great run. 2 laps to go. I'm sorry, 3 laps to go.
Yeah, but of course, Tim Johnson's still trying to work his way through and is picking up some spots, but he does have that lap traffic. It might not be enough time if you're Johnston.
2 more circuits, that's all we need. Yes, Billy Tungate, I will get it together, brother. I promise. Tommy Ryan coming around here, about to take the white flag at the Virginia 200. Been a while since we've seen Tommy win. The Carolina driver getting out of turn 4. Got another Carolina. It's the top 3 are Carolina drivers. Ryan, Johnston, and Harden all across the line. That's your top 3. Tommy Ryan in turn 2 one last time, down the backstretch one last time in the Virginia 200 at Richmond International Raceway. Through the apex of turn 3 and 4, Tommy Ryan going to roll out across, and your winner tonight in the Virginia 200. Congratulations, Tommy Ryan. That is absolutely unacceptable. A win for him, and boy, I'll tell you what, Tim Johnston with a great run tonight. He'll finish second, and an absolutely unacceptable night for Ricky Harden coming home third. Wow.
That's all I got to say after tonight's race. Just wow, and wow, look at those fireworks. Meanwhile, down the backstretch.
Yeah, they're pretty here at Richmond, here in the Virginia night sky. Remember, folks, Virginia is for lovers. So pull that one close to you and celebrate a victory here tonight. A great one for Tommy Ryan and a great race for this entire field. Some tough luck for some of these guys, but in the end, we get a great show. Tommy out there burning it down, the Frosty Pop Racing driver, burning his donuts. We're going to step away for just a moment and take a quick break here on the Global Sim Racing channel. We'll come back with your winner and full race rundown, and we'll see you in just a moment. Welcome back to the Virginia 200 here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. We are live here at Richmond International Raceway. The race is over. And Tommy Ryan, your big winner tonight. Let's run down the results here this evening. Tommy Ryan coming home with a big first place finish. Tim Johnston, his Carolina brother there, finishing second. And Ricky Hart, another Carolina brother and teammate of Tommy Ryan, going to finish third. Jonathan Caddell with a great run tonight. The Steel Horse Racing driver going to finish fourth, right where he started. Brody Hayes in fifth. Paul Pepper, sixth place. Tyler Dalton with a seventh place finish. Michael Krobach finally gets a little bit of luck tonight, and he'll finish eighth. Ninth, going to go to Woody Mahan, the Indiana driver, having a good, solid run tonight. And Adam Jersky going to round out the top 10.
And just outside that top 10, Devin Cannon came away 11th on the day. A quiet run for him, but a good one. Devin Serra finished one lap down as well in 12th, while Chris Scala, with pit strategy, he did not get the strategy he wanted to see, as Scala finished 2 laps down in 13th. Along with Stephen Herring in 14th, Don Runkle Jr. was 3 laps down in 15th with Derek Paulson, while Rick Thompson fell to 12 laps down in 17th. James Krahula, he turned some more laps and moved his way up to 18th before finally putting it back in the garage area, while Matt Murphy finished 19th, his motor expiring from a hit with about 50 laps to go. Randy Yoakum finished 66 laps down to finish off the top 20.
Boy, and the racing gods just were not with Brian Yazik tonight. He's going to finish 21st. That's probably one of the worst finishes I've ever seen Brian Yazik have, actually. 22nd, going to go to Jonathan Lawrence. John Wilco with a 23rd place run tonight. He suffered. Adam Blattel, hashtag Adam Blattel, the man from Amsoil. He'll finish 24th. Justin Rodden will finish 25th tonight. 25 cars started. A lot of them finished, but some didn't, and that's okay. It happens. That's racing. But I think we've got a very excited Tommy Ryan ready to talk to us about what turned out to be a pretty incredible race. Tommy, congratulations. Welcome back to Victory Lane, my friend.
Gosh, man, I know, man. It feels like it's been an eternity since I came in here and talked to you guys, but yeah, it's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie to you. I finally got the monkey off my back, but a lot of the normal competition wasn't around tonight, so I figured I had a little better shot at it. But you know, hell, these things, man, I'll take them how I can get them, honestly.
Tommy, I said at the end that win was just unacceptable. Talk about the run that you and your teammate had tonight there. He's going to complete the podium there in third.
Yeah, me and Ricky both in the Northern Tool Chevrolets. You know, we ran pretty consistent. Our tire wear was pretty much the same. We had pit strategy set up, but you know, the cautions came out and it kind of washed everything. And gosh, man, the caution came out. I was on pit road and I was afraid to stop in my stall. I thought I'd lose a lap somehow or another. You know how racing can be. So I drove through. Then I ended up somewhere in the back and was lucky enough to miss a couple of those wrecks and drove my way back through there. So it was a good night, man. I'm not complaining at all. Just glad to be back in here.
Yeah, you know, you picked up just a little bit of front end damage on that Northern Tools Chevrolet, and it wasn't an ender. It was just enough. It was not enough to really affect the handling on the car. Listen, buddy, I don't know if you looked at the points yet, but boy, that win, it's only got you 50 points away from Brian Yazik now. How do you feel about that?
Well, Brian, man, he's so consistent.
74. I'm sorry, 74 behind Yazik. My bad.
Yeah, I mean, anything could happen. Like, he had a rough beginning of the season, and then that whole team has put together win after top five. And, you know, Brian is really consistent. He's quick pretty much everywhere we go. He's been better than me in a lot of places, whether it's on tires or just speed in general. He's going to be tough to catch. If I put a lot of stress on myself, I end up making a lot of mistakes. So my goal is just to come in here, turn laps, have fun, not stress about the stupid stuff, and just see where it goes. but he's going to be tough. I mean, shoot, man, as much as Jeff Ward wins in here, he could probably come up and spank us all. I don't know. But it'll be interesting to see how the last, couple months or whatever, how everything shakes out. But if Brian just keeps doing what he has been doing, he should be fine. As long as I do better than what I have been doing, I'll be fine. I've been trying some different things, different settings in my wheel, and really suffered there for about 4 weeks in a row. I think I wrecked all 4 times and just couldn't save the car. But I think I've got that pretty good under control, as long as the setup's, driving to my style. This one here wasn't too bad. It was a little loose out of 4. I could buzz the right rear, and you pay for it for a lap or 2. But yeah, I just have to stay calm and just drive the thing and quit worrying about everything else and just drive my race, man.
Well, listen, Tommy, you've put together now 21 top 10s. The only other driver to have done that so far this season is Brian Yazik. You are tied with him for top 10s, top 5s, 11 of those. Listen, keep turning in these performances. I have a feeling you're going to keep gaining here. Still plenty left to race for. But again, congratulations on a great run tonight. What's the most fun? What's going to stick out for you here when the night is over about getting this win at Richmond tonight?
Keeping the right front on it, man. The car, it didn't really get to a stupid point where I couldn't tell what I was going to get when I got in the corner. It was pretty consistent, and just the long runs and actually passing cars and making positions and having some luck. That's what I'm really going to take away from it. But man, I think it's my first Cup win. I think I won a truck race or something, PRL. But man, it's good to be back in victory lane. This might get my monkey off the back, give me a little confidence coming in the next few weeks. We'll see.
All right, we'll see you at the Magic Mile, brother. Go and enjoy this victory for a week, and then we'll see you next Thursday night.
Yep, sure will, man. Thank you guys, and thanks to my sponsor, Northern Towing Equipment. We have a lot of stores in Florida, and that place got devastated pretty bad. We have trucks on the road heading down there this week. We're going to get those stores restocked so everybody can get over and get what they need to get back on their feet. So y'all come shop. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, Tommy, thank you very much for sharing that. I know you guys are pretty strained on generator supply. Have you guys started to get more generators back in?
Yeah, we honestly, man, the stores may have ran out, but we had a continuous supply, and man, I think the last I heard we've sold over 17,000 generators between Harvey and Irma. So we've been trying to take care of our customers, and we still got plenty. So come and get them.
All right. Our thanks to Tommy Ryan. Justin has caught up with a very, very happy Ricky Harden with that big win tonight.
Yes, we have. Ricky Harden came away with a 3rd place finish today after starting all the way back in 20th. And he has moved himself to just 59 points behind of Ryan in the standings. 133 back of Brian Yazik. Ricky, how do you feel about finishing in the top 5 here with what seemed to be for you a very good long run car?
Yeah, I think I was just shocked more than anything that my long run speed was so good. I was able to run some practice laps, and I ran a 106 lap run in practice, and just focused on being consistent because that's somewhere I struggle. I'm usually not very good on the long runs, so I spent some time working on it, and it paid off. When we had that real long run at the beginning of the race, I came from the back all the way up to 4th by the halfway lap, and then I just was lucky because I hit pit road right after halfway, and the caution came out while I was on pit road, so it put me in the lead.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because what was the kind of thought process when with the pit strategy and everything that happened with that timing of the caution, how did that affect what you were planning for that race to go from you were running, like you said, about 4th at the halfway point to being thrust to the front of the pack with guys who were up front at that time being thrust to the back?
Well, I thought, I've been given this track position. I need to keep it. But, when the caution came out, Tommy and I were talking in our team speak since we're teammates. And I said, I think we need to stop right here. We weren't to our stalls yet when the caution came out. I said, I think we're going to be able to beat the pace car out. As long as we beat the pace car out, we'll be leading. But he decided to drive through, and I decided to pit. So it actually benefited me and hurt him a lot. But it didn't matter. He was so quick. We got to the end there and had that last long run, and I thought I would just save my tires for the beginning part, and I didn't save enough. I really think Tim Johnson did a great job out there with older tires. He saved them early because he got out to a lead, and he was great at the end.
Yeah, Tim Johnston, he ended up losing the lead with about 15, 20 laps to go, as on some of the in the middle of some of the corners, he had a 3 mile per hour difference to Ryan, but of course now you have some more momentum starting to build here after this race here at Richmond. Of course, we're going to be moving on after this week to a track that's fairly different, New Hampshire. What do you hope to take momentum-wise to you right up to New Hampshire Motor Speedway to try and go from a long run car that finished third to possibly a long run car that goes into victory lane?
Well, I mean, New Hampshire's a weird track. Out of all the mile and shorter tracks, I consider Richmond to be my worst, and New Hampshire's statistically my best. So hopefully that means I can, take some of the things I've learned in the long runs here to New Hampshire. So that's what we'll try to do.
Ricky, will you please stop lying to the race fans? Okay, you told me this afternoon that you had nothing for this track, your least favorite, and look what you went and did.
Well,
come on, man.
That was the truth. I just happened to have some practice, and I normally don't do any practice laps, so the 106 lap run helped.
All right, so Ricky, yeah. I'm gonna present a public apology here, and I should have done it with Tommy also. You're gonna watch the replay, and you're gonna realize if you haven't already been messaged by 500 people, I kept blowing it. I kept calling Tommy you and you Tommy. It's that old unacceptable racing thing back to when you guys both had the same colors on the cars, and I'm sorry. Boy. Okay.
Yeah, I even changed my paint scheme back to the 2016
scheme
tonight.
I know.
Just so you wouldn't be confused.
Yeah, and now that son of yours will live in shame. So I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry I put bad juju on you guys tonight. So
it worked out in the end. Racing together.
I mean,
congratulations, bud.
I want to say it's bad jujubes because he was one of your main picks tonight, and he ended up finishing third.
Yeah, he did. Great run, Ricky. We will see you next week, buddy, when we head to New Hampshire.
Thank you, guys. Thanks to all the guys at Unacceptable Racing. Congrats to Tommy Ryan. Thanks to Michelin Earth Mover, Northern Tool and Equipment, Coastal Safety Auditors, GSRC, everybody that makes it happen. Good job.
All right, and that was Ricky Harden. We also want to thank Brutus for getting in there. We were getting him loaded up, and he just wanted to say goodnight, so we appreciate that. Brutus, our little buddy there over at Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire, life, and safety equipment. Justin, thank you, man. What a great race tonight. Lots of fun. But now it's time to put a pretty bow on this and head on out of here. So come see us again with the Premier Racing League this Sunday, September 17th at 9:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, when the American Pool Supply Truck Series hits the Magic Mile at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. We would like to thank the drivers and the organizers of the Premier Racing League for coming here tonight and putting on this tremendous show. Thanks to the companies that provide the software and hardware for our broadcasts you see on the screen now. Of course, this doesn't happen without Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde. They provide all that music you hear that we throw out there. Look on the screen now to get a hold of them. You can contact them at their addresses. See the screen now to, like I said, get a hold of them. I just did that twice, didn't I? Thanks to the team today, Justin Prince, Amjad Yaman, and the great Dougie Beard, who I have checked in with, and I know some of you are watching. We're a little concerned about Dougie. He is a Floridian. Everything is cool with Dougie. He was having to move between two houses and keep two houses intact, and he managed to do so. So our thoughts with Dougie. Happy for you, bud. If you'd like to find out more about the Global Sim Racing channel, including upcoming races, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com. You can check out our social media accounts on Twitter at GSR Channel. We're even on Facebook. If you just type in Global Sim Racing Channel, you'll find us there. We also have upcoming races for other series listed on the screen. So check those out and mark them down on your calendar. And folks, always remember to pause and reflect, okay? But until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.